don't have any questions.
Hi guys, welcome to another video from Overbite Gaming, and today we are finally taking a look at Atomic Heart, a Russian developed game. There's been a bit of furor around that, obviously, with the situation in Russia and Ukraine. I'm not going to delve into it, I'm just going to talk about the game, because, you know, there's arguments to be made, and I'm not going to make them, so we'll leave it there. So Atomic Heart, you play P3, a Russian Special Forces soldier that has a very generic American accent for some reason. Maybe he was a sleeper or something. That was the thing, wasn't it, back in the day when Russian agents were trained to be American, basically, so they could be sleeper agents in the States. And basically it's set in an alternate version of Russia in, I think it's the 50s, somewhere around there. And they've made massive technological breakthroughs. There's robots everywhere, and yes, they have a bit of a robot apocalypse going on. Instantly you'll be reminded of games, a lot of different games actually. It really does wear its influences on its sleeve. Most people would say BioShock, but I think there's a lot in there from Prey and Half-Life 2 and Dishonored. I kind of feel like it has so many parts of different games in it, you can't really sort of lambast it for being a rip-off of any particular one. Most of it is well put together. It looks fantastic, but it's a real mixed bag. So, for instance, you'll have an absolutely beautiful vista with thousands of robots marching down a road, and then you'll notice the water doesn't react to your presence. It doesn't ripple or anything. There's just a lot of strangeness to it that's like that. The game in and of itself is quite strange anyway, given its setting and just the characters that populate it. You have P3, who is, as I said, pretty much the American hero from any adventure game that you could possibly imagine. He's well voice acted, but the script is pretty bad. He does a lot of swearing, perhaps excessive amounts of swearing. I swear a lot myself, but this just feels unnecessary in a lot of circumstances. You have a vending machine that you meet where you upgrade your weapons and store things and upgrade your powers, similar to plasmids. And she is very sexual for some reason for a while, and then stops being sexual. So I don't know, maybe they got like halfway through and thought, ooh, this is a bit much, and decided to tone it down. Don't know. The weapons are not that satisfying. There's a couple that are okay, but for the most part they really lacked impact. I find that particularly the case in terms of melee weapons, where sometimes it feels like you're using an axe, but you're just using a paintbrush that paints damaged areas onto the bad guys. The melee combat is also slow and pretty clunky, which is a problem because you don't get a gun for a little while in the game. Most games, like say Doom for example, will give you a gun straight out of the gate. This doesn't, it gives you an axe. And I must admit, I got killed quite a few times with the initial robot attack because you're slower than the robots, your attacks are slow, the robots are fairly quick, and they have attacks that must be dodged, and your dodge takes time to recover. So, yes, I'm not impressed by the melee combat. The gunplay fares a little bit better. As I said, it still lacks impact, but it's more... there's like one animation when you're using the shotgun that causes the robots to sort of like backflip backwards with the impact and then sort of get up and run at you, which is satisfying, but otherwise they barely react to it. There is an upgrade system for your weapons where you can upgrade parts of them, which causes the weapon to look different. I'm always a fan of seeing your weapon change as you upgrade it. I think that's a really nice touch in any game, and this one is no exception. The game does start off very, very slow. You have a really nice scripted sequence at the beginning where you're going through a parade, and then you go and meet your doctor, and you come out and you get airlifted in a car. You get in a car and you think, I'm going to drive now, and no, you just get airlifted by a robot. It's weird. And then you travel to a factory, and it is so bad. And it lasts for like 3 hours. It's ridiculous. There's a lot of annoying puzzles to be done. Not annoying in the fact they're difficult, annoying in the fact that they're just tedious. There's a tree which you need to plug 4 canisters into, for instance, and you have to go to various different parts of the facility in order to get these canisters, and of course you can't just go there and get the canister. You have to solve some other bullshit puzzle along the way. I did not enjoy my time in the facility, and I really came close to stopping playing, but I knew I had a review to do, so I carried on. I will admit, though, I have not finished the game. I don't actually like the game very much. As I said, it's a mixed bag, but for me there's just not enough in it to make me like it. I've heard completely different responses. I think it's going to be one of those games that's a bit like Marmite. You're either going to like it or you're going to love it, even though I'm pretty much in the middle with Marmite, which is kind of invalidates my point, but whatever. So, yeah, I mean, there's some nice set pieces, and the boss fights are okay, and once you get out of the facility and actually out into the world proper, it becomes better. I wouldn't say it becomes good. I'm still not enjoying it, but it definitely steps up. There's some nice characters. You meet a granny along the way, who's pretty awesome. But at the end of the day, excuse me, I'm just not having fun with it. It's something I'm having to force myself to play in order to review it, basically. I'm pretty sure I'm removing this from my hard disk as soon as I finish capturing for the video, and probably will not install again. It's fine, but it's just not my cup of tea. It's imaginative, it's got some nice ideas in it, but at the end of the day, I'm just not having fun playing it. The gunplay and the melee combat isn't interesting enough and impactful enough for me to enjoy it, and the puzzles I find to be a complete ball ache, as there's a lot of first-person platforming as well, which never really works that well. There is an interesting element in the polymer, which is the material that has allowed the Russians to advance so fast in technology. And it's basically in huge strings that connect places, and you can swim through it. And while you're swimming through it, you can hear the memories of the people that were close to it when the accident occurred. And then you sort of burst out and you use it as a way of navigating around some levels, except it's hard to see the level outside the polymer because it's all blurry. Sorry, a little tickle in my throat. Coming down when I want, that'd be bad. So, it has nice ideas, it's an imaginative game, it's got some creepier elements, like the robots are fairly creepy, and even though they are, you know, kind of ruined by their porn stashes, that makes it fairly less creepy, but they have the blank face thing going on, and just sort of mindless attempts to kill you that you would expect from a robot. And the gameplay itself, the combat sort of starts off very hard because you've only got the crappy melee weapons, and then you get a gun and more guns, quite a few guns, which you all have to build. You never pick anything up, you get a blueprint and then you have to build it, so you have to collect items and resources from around you. And it's actually really well done. This is one thing I will give the game. You basically just hold down F and you sort of telekinetically use your glove friend, who is named Charles, who will actually continually talk to you, much like the guns in High on Life, but less annoying, so yay. And you hold down F and you just point at all the stuff that you want to loot, and it just pops them all open and things fly into your hand. And you know, you don't have to go up to each and every cabinet and open it and watch an animation of him opening it and then rooting through it and then getting stuff out. So it's a real nice way of like cutting down that busy work that you don't need in games these days. So hats off for that. I said there's some good sections in it, but it's just not enough for me. There are locks to be picked. There's several different mini games for them. They're all, you know, they're not difficult. They're just there to artificially lengthen the game of you having to do it, I suppose. The game itself apparently is quite long to finish. It's like around the 20-hour mark. I haven't put in 20 hours to it. I will hold my hands up on that one. I have no intention of playing any more than I really need to. But it is on Game Pass. I mean, if I'd spent £55 on it, I would have been fairly annoyed. But I mean, I've bought bad games before, so it's not the end of the world. But it's on Game Pass, so I got to try it for basically nothing, because I have a Game Pass subscription and would pay that anyway, so the game is free and for all intents and purposes. So if you do have Game Pass, I would advise you check it out.
Very pleasant journey.
I'm not going to say you're going to like it. It's very, very much one of those games where it might tick your box and it might not. And I've really got no way of knowing if it's going to tick your box unless I personally know you. And considering like the amount of views my videos get and the amount of people I actually know who are subscribed to me, it's likely I do. So maybe come up to me individually and I'll tell you if you like it. But yeah, I mean, it starts off like with the scripted cutscene and everything, and you're looking around and you're thinking, this is beautiful, man. I'm looking forward to this. And then you get into the gameplay and you're like, oh, damn it. Performance-wise, it does seem to be pretty well optimized. I had everything on max and never dropped below 60. I didn't experience any stutters or anything like that. So at 1440p on my 10700K and 3080 rig, it was fine. So hats off to that. There was a bug I found when I initially played it, and this was only initially. So I did the opening cutscene. The guy went to get in the car before the airlift and couldn't open the car, and I was like, what's going on? And it's like it gated me like it thought I was playing the demo. And it was just like, wait for full release or something. It was something like that, I can't remember it. It's only happened when I initially played it. But so I came out the game, Googled it, just had to come out the game, reload it. Did that, went back to the car after a horribly long elevator ride that was unskippable.
Right.
And yes, it would let me in, so I was able to continue playing the game. That's one thing. Some of the level design and pacing is really bad. I just can't tell you how bad it is. There's a puzzle you need to do when you're getting these canisters, where you need to go around on a sort of a tram, I'd say. It's like a platform on a rail. And the platform goes so fucking slow, and you're just waiting to reach the next one. And you reach the next one, and you get a zap, which is plasma type thing. Because you get, I'll explain it in a second. Plasma. So you get a zap, which increases it. Because when you first put the tube in, it goes, oh, yes, this will take 30 days to complete. And the glove tells you, oh, well, you can supercharge the things, and it'll go faster. So you go around and supercharge like 4 or 5 things. But you have to wait for the tram to take you around, and it's so slow. And every time you zap one, you get attacked by flying robots, and you got to shoot those. And it's just like, I just really can't be asked to do this. I think having that section be as long as it is a mistake, because it's right at the start of the game, and it's just probably the worst part of it. It's certainly the worst part of it that I've played so far. So there you are. You do get, as I said, sort of the equivalent of plasmids. They're not actually plasmids, obviously, because they get sued for copyright infringement, but they function as the same thing. So you start off with an electric one, which you can use obviously on the robots to stun them, and it works on cameras, and dispenser shoots at dispense like the repair robots. You can touch it down with that. You can upgrade it, and you can also get other ones. There's ice, there's a polymer one, there's a shield, and there's something else that I can't remember. Oh, telekinesis. So as you get more of those and upgrade your weapons, the combat becomes easier and easier. There is quite a good amount of enemy variety as the game progresses, but certainly in that initial facility is very little. There's like 4 enemy types, and you don't see 2 of those until much later, actually playing through the facility. So the boss fights are good. There's good variety. There's like more robots and robots buzzsaws and flying ones that laser at you, and you standard mannequin ones and mannequins with lasers and bigger. It's just there are a lot of robots. Let's just put it that way. But you won't just be fighting robots. There are mutations for you to fight as well, and weird flying things. So you can. Also, you're going with the cartridge system, so it's more effective against like robots or organics, which is nice. Some of your plasmids are more effective against robots. And you get the thing. You use the appropriate tool to kill the appropriate thing. There you go. So that's my review of Atomic Heart. It's okay. It's nothing that I want to play any more of. But it's alright. If I was paying 50 quid for like alright, I'd be a little bit annoyed. But it's on Game Pass, so whatever. I got to play it for nothing, and even if I didn't like it very much, I got to look at some of the pretty graphics, and some of the graphics are really nice. So there you go. I'm off to grit my teeth as I play it to capture some footage. Right, take it easy guys, and I'll catch you next time.